Kentucky Fried Chicken is famous due to its delicious chicken secret recipe, and it is one of the most successful fast food chains in the world. With 25,000 branches around the world, which opened for the first in 1952 in the United States. To promote its brand, KFC decided to release an album titled Colonel Saunders, Tijuana Picnic, in 1968, where they compiled several jazz and funk songs. Interestingly, all of these songs were by Herp Albert at the Tijuana, to whom no credit was given, nor was his authorship noted, something that annoyed fans of the band. The LP, which is rare and a special item for collectors, was produced by label Mark 56 Record in Anaheim, California, and it includes 10 songs: A Taste of Honey, Lonely Bull, Chili Verde, Spanish Flea, Our Day Will Come, Tijuana Taxi, Green Pepper, El Garbanzo, El Toro, and Third Man Dem. All them by Herp Albert. However, he was not mentioned, and the person who received all the credit, George Garbanzo. This type of situations usually doesn't happen, especially because it involves a brand and a fairly renowned musician. This, however, did happen, and as such a story was invented for each of the songs. The description for the song Tijuana Taxi was the following. Riding in a taxi in Tijuana, or just about anywhere else in Mexico, is one of the world's scariest experiences. Every driver seems to think he's a matador, and that's all the other vehicle are bulls. The only other place I know where drivers are so aggressive is Tokyo, which incidentally it's another city where you can enjoy Kentucky Fried Chicken. When Spanish Flea is mentioned, it talks about how in Tasco there are circuses where they had trained fleas to dance the Barsubiana, but to the author it looked more like the turkey trot. KFC then state that Mexicans eat turkey with a chocolate sauce called mole. There are different stories for each of these songs, but the most important story is the one that is untold: Herp Albert's authorship and the songs that made up this vinyl. The album's cover shows the famous Colonel Saunders resting under a tree in a picnic with a bucket of fried chicken in his hands. Behind him, we can see the typical American white family wearing the fashion of the day, enjoying his classic recipe and all of his restaurant's products. They're all sitting on the grass. On the lower right, the credits mention Mark 56 and George Garbanzo and nothing else. What many assume is that they are all covers of Albert's songs, but there is a difference from doing that to being the creative mind behind them. Herp Albert, a Tijuana brass, was a group led by American trumpeter Herp Albert in the 1960s. Doro Tito, as he is also known, was born on March 31st, 1935, in Los Angeles, California, and he has played all kinds of genres, including jazz, Latin, funk, and R&B. Throughout his career, he has recorded 28 albums that always landed on the Billboard 200 list. 5 of them went to number 1, and his albums have been certified 14 platinum and 15 gold. Herp Albert has sold 72 million albums worldwide. He won a Grammy Award and was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 2013, Albert was awarded the National Medal of Arts by President Obama. The idea to include Tijuana in the name of the group came to Albert when he visited Tijuana and witnessed a bullfight. In an interview with Cabinet Magazine, he said, "That's when it hit me. Something in this excitement of the crowd, the traditional mariachi music, the trumpet call heralding the start of the fight, the yelling, the snorting of the bulls, it all clicked." After this, he retitled one of his songs, originally called Twinkle Star, to the Lonely Bull. Coming back to KFC, it is possible that using the Tijuana name and certain cultural references on this album helped them to get closer to Mexican consumers. The first KFC establishment in Mexico opened in 1963 in Monterrey, Nuevo León, something that was noted on the album's back cover, pointing out that it was located in the corner of Gonzalitos and Vancouver. Back then, it was one of the 1,200 existing restaurants in this franchise, which sold a delicious chicken seasoned with 11 spices and herbs according to a patented process. No other paragraph on the album says, Colonel Saunders is a natural to tell you about the Tijuana sounds on this album. They are a lot in keeping with the spirit. Although 27 years old, the Colonel is still active, perky, full of life and fun, just as these Tijuana sounds are. Although it should actually say the Herp Albert and the Tijuana brass sounds. The damage, whether it's happened or not, whether it was a mistake or intentional, become a part of history. One of those things that happened when a bad marketing decision it made. It is unknown whether there were legal consequences back then. Did Herp Albert sue KFC for not giving him credit? Were royalties paid for the use of the copyrighted songs? Was the person responsible for this advertising fired? Was it a printing error? These are the questions that still remained unanswered. The trumpeter's famous legacy overshadowed any attempt at plagiarism, and surely, as a good American, he has probably gone to KFC more than once and has asked for a bucket of chicken.